Hey y'all, Mechanic Meg here. Today I am working on my 07 WRX STi Subaru. The car is about to get wrapped, and before doing so I wanted to replace a couple of the body panels that have been damaged over the years. So I called up my guy Steve over at Hadwin White Subaru in South Carolina, let him know the parts that I was needing, and he made sure to get me the right parts shipped out. So that's the project I'm going to be working on today. Before doing so, I wanted to give you a walkthrough of the car and some of the upgrades I've done since some of the last videos. Hope you enjoy. I'm currently using the car for road course driving, and since there's a lot of hard braking and sharp turns, the first upgrades I did, I wanted to make them related to safety and to braking. So one of the first installs that I put in was the Corbeau DFX race seat. That way I could have a 5-point harness in here. So these actually are PRP 2-inch 5-point race harnesses. Since we took out the passenger seats of the side-by-sides, I went ahead and repurposed them and put them in the Subaru. They fit in nicely in the seat. And since the seat has a slot down here on the bottom, you can actually put the anti-submarine in there and have this one be the full 5-point. The Subaru STi seats are race seats, though they don't have the slot in the middle for the 5th belt. So this fits up nicely for having the shoulder straps as well as the lap belt. Didn't really have to do too many modifications to get that 4-point harness in there. So still got some safety in there for any passenger that wants to ride. To secure the harnesses, I installed a Braum Racing Harness Bar. This was a bit of a more involved project than I had anticipated. As you can tell, I took out the original seat belts. They needed to come out so that way the harness bar could be installed. I was actually able to install the bar in the same spots where the original seat belts were. So it fits in there pretty nice. It's secure. This lap belt's actually secure down there on the bottom on the bracket for the Corbeau seat. Everything's in here nice and secure. The seat is nice because it actually goes forward and backwards, so you can slide it depending on your leg length, and the back is fixed, so it's more of a secure seat. I like the way the harnesses fit onto the bar. They look really nice and they're secure, and there's actually enough room in the back seat for passengers, so still a fully functional passenger car. When it comes time to upgrading your brake system, it is helpful to decide on your primary use, since most brake pads and rotors are set up for street or for track use. Though many people these days are taking their street cars on the track, there are a couple of hybrid options out there. I decided to go with Hawk. It's the HP Plus Sport/Track Pad. It is a hybrid. And if you see in here, the brake pad has about 2 track events on there, as well as a little bit of street use. My review for the brakes on the street is, since this is primarily a track setup, you can tell whenever they are not at their full capacity because they are going to squeal. So they actually perform best whenever they are hot. So just be mindful of that whenever you are on the street. Though whenever I was taking it out, I didn't really experience any problems, and I was confident that the car was going to stop as I needed it to. When it came to using the car on the track, I would definitely recommend that you upgrade your full braking system, because I was pushing the car a lot harder. Everything was getting hotter. I actually ended up pulling off of the track on one of my laps because I was hearing some noise up in the front. And it turns out that I had melted off some of the weights right here on the wheel. I got the car back on the track, and then there shortly after, I experienced brake fluid boil and my brakes started to fade. I was able to get the car off the track, no problem, and was able to flush and bleed out the brake system and put in a fluid with a higher boiling point. Got the car back on the track and it worked great. The only other thing that I would add is, since this is a hybrid, a lot of the hybrid pads are quite a bit more dusty, and so you just have to clean up your wheels a little bit more if you want to keep them clean. But other than that, I've been really happy. The Subaru parts that I'm replacing today is the side body trim protector on the rear quarter for the driver's side and the passenger side. The car is black obsidian, pearl. And the nice thing about Subaru is with the OEM colors, a lot of times you can get the body panels in your actual OEM colors, so they're already color matched. And then I also got the protector side spoiler. When I've been on the track events, it has just overall, over time, has just gotten really rough and dry and brittle, and it's no longer staying secured, so it's flopping around in the wind. Replacing the passenger side because it is just scuffed right here, and then it's also been damaged. And on the passenger side, it was damaged in a car wash, and over time, just with all the wind, it has just completely come off. So we'll end up cleaning this all up and getting the new one on. And then as for the strip down here on the bottom, as you can tell, it's just old, it's brittle, it flails about, so it's time to get replaced. So let's get going. All right, y'all, we got the weather stripping and the trim put on, and looks like it's ready to go to get wrapped. I appreciate you tuning in. I will go ahead and post those parts in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next time.